This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, citing imminent danger, Cloudflare drops hate site Kiwi Farms. Online services company Cloudflare has stopped providing distributed denial of service, usually abbreviated as DDoS, protections to an online forum called Kiwi Farms, for what Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince has called, quote, an unprecedented emergency and immediate threat to human life, end quote. Cloudflare's anti-DDoS service is considered to be a necessity for some types of online entity, as it basically prevents those entities from being taken offline by an ongoing flood of traffic that either overwhelms their servers or makes it too expensive to keep operating. Cloudflare, as a company, has said that they work with many companies and other entities with whom they have fundamental disagreements. But in this case, following an online pressure campaign, the company announced that there was ample evidence of real physical harm to people who were being harassed by members of the forum, transgender people in particular, via doxing, swatting, and other methods of online and offline abuse. So despite their free speech focus, they would end their relationship with Kiwi Farms and its owner. From The Guardian, Russia will not resume gas supplies to Europe until sanctions lifted, says Moscow. Surprising essentially no one, Russian officials have announced that gas flows to Europe, which had been shut down, ostensibly for repairs, will not start back up again until European governments lift their sanctions against Russia and its interests. This wasn't a surprise because Russia has been threatening the possibility for months, and that threat was rendered less potent as European governments began to make and implement plans to segue away from Russian gas imports entirely. As things stand, this will further the pain some European countries are already feeling, and will feel more potently if this upcoming winter is a harsh one. But now that they've managed to store nearly 80% of their usual pre-winter gas stockpile, and have shown there's political appetite for making such a transition sooner than originally planned, the degree to which this move matters beyond small degrees of economic pain is questionable. And as sort of a follow-up of that story, from Reuters, UK weighs huge support package as Europe battles energy crisis. The UK's new Prime Minister has been broadcasting her support for a freeze on energy bills this winter and the next, alongside other potential aid packages and subsidies, as energy-related inflation becomes the core concern for many of her constituents. Most European nations are likewise considering how best to handle this period of intense energy-related inflation, including the German government, which recently unveiled a nearly $65 billion aid package, its third this year. Benchmark prices for gas in Europe are up 340% this year and jumped 35% on Monday alone, following Russia's announcement that it would shut off gas pipelines running to the continent. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.